Well, hello everybody and welcome back to Aor PS4 F8 here live from a very, very rain-soaked Singapore track. As it was in the race last year actually, yes. It was a intermediate start to the race, but we are having an intermediate wet qualifying today, and we're live from the streets of Singapore. Wonderful street circuit with elements of Monaco, elements of various other tracks. And it's going to be an interesting one. We have a 19-point gap at the top of the championship now between Washi and McQuiz. They're both here today, and we have a 17-driver grid, probably one of the biggest grids we've had all season. We've got a new driver in today, in the Limaro 83, driving the Sauber. We welcome him along to the F8 tier. We have Rob 2K down here as well in the Force India, and Dyson also in the other Force India, so they've got a full Force India team now. So let's see who's going to be on top today. Could be some upsets in the wet. It's obviously a very, very different it's a different surface to everybody to drive on. So it's going to be interesting to see how each driver handles the changeable conditions, as Caddy Damas is already out of qualifying, as well as Stewart. They've both had an accident in the second sector, that looks like. So we already have two out of qualifying, so they'll be starting down the back today. They're watching Jason. Let's see if we can get on board with your championship leader. Yeah, there he is, Washi. He's coming through sector 3 currently, as we have Dyson parked up on the side right there. Zek following him. So now you're going to see this kind of train happening. People backing up, trying to get themselves some space, getting some heat into the tyres. So Washi 19 points clear at the top of the championship. McQuiz taking the win last time out in Italy. So let's see, the championship could swing back in McQuiz's favour, or Washi could extend his lead once again. We have only about 5 rounds left. Here we go, on board with Washi through the last sector then, as we begin a lap around the Singapore circuit here. Under the lights in Singapore, here we go. Under the Singapore Airlines sign, out of turn 1. It's a double corner, here we go. A left into a right. Use the curb on the right, but don't use it too much in the wet. Then we go through the hairpin. Keep it tight to the inside. Obviously different lines to take in the wet, but let's see how Washi handles it. Coming through the right-hander. Easy to get wrong, that one. Very deceivingly. It's a bit tighter than you think it is. Down the long straight towards the next left-hander. It's a very, very tight left. Very deceiving once again. Down the gears. Locking up both fronts there. Into third gear. Gets it turned in relatively nicely. On the curb a little bit. Then into the tight right-hander. Down to second gear. Clip the curb on the apex. Very nicely done indeed. On the power. Careful not to spin it too much. Into the next left-hander. Bit loose from him there, but gets it together. Then we come down to what was infamously the biggest the Singapore jump, I suppose. Used to be there, but it's not there anymore. And towards the bridge we come. Into the right, very, very tight this section. Easy to get wrong through the bridge there. A little bit kind of loose from Washi there. Not quite what he'd like. Through the hairpin. Getting on the power. And gets it nicely on the power there. Spinning the tyres all the way in fourth gear. And down towards this next right-hander. Another tight one on down the gears. Denzamo goes P1 with a 159.9. So he puts Toro Rosso into provisional pole. Down into third gear for this next kind of Monaco twisty type section. Underneath the grandstands we will go for the first time on this quali lap with Washi. Gets it nicely turned in. It'll be dry under here. Different kind of grip underneath. On the power, spins the tyres a little bit. Coming through the left-right here. Buffon goes P2, Lamar P3. David Ben P1 with a 158.8. Let's see where Washi goes. Coming through the final corner. Would be flat in the dry. Not today. Big oversteer moment across the line. Is going to go P1 with a 158.229. Zek goes faster with a 158.0. Now let's see where McQuiz is. Is he down? He's down doing a lap here. There he is in the last sector. This will be the man to watch. Your championship contender. Coming through the final corner. Looking very, very good indeed across the line. It's only 6th. Wow. 2-minute .4 for McQuiz. Puts him P6 with Zek on provisional pole. Would you look at that? So let's see how qualifying progresses. We've got 5 minutes left. Drivers will be coming in and getting themselves set for another set of laps. Jason in has not set a lap yet. Ghost Hunter is on a lap now. Had his debut 2 races ago in Belgium and has scored pretty well ever since he's come in. So let's see where he goes. Daniel UK out of this one. 2 Williams starting down the back, it looks like, today. Coming to the final corner, Ghost Hunter. Where's he going to go? Massive oversteer and across the line. Well, he's not. It's going to be an invalidated lap for him. We're looking at Lamaro, the debutant. He's currently in P10. Daniel UK parked up there, following the Ferrari around of David Ben. But yeah, look at that. Zek 0.2 of a second quicker at the top of the timing sheets, but McQuiz is a full second, almost 2 seconds off of the pace of Washi. Now it is beginning to dry as DRS has been enabled. The rain has stopped, so guys will be waiting for this to get drier so they can come out on dry tyres. This will be the next move then. Who's going to move to the dries first? So DRS now enabled. It'll still be wet, but also DRS being enabled also means it is suitable for dries. So they will all come in and probably strap on a set of the dry tyres. Who is going to be the first to jump onto them? If it were to stay wet, that would be a very, very interesting front row with Zek and Washi on the front row, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that because the dry tyres are going to come out. But if it dries up quick enough is the next question. Well, we'll say that. Here out comes one of the Red Bulls. That looks like it's going to be Jason on his way out on the Ultra Softs. I just had a look at the kind of strategies for today. We were saying that the fastest strategy would be just the one stopper of the Ultra Soft to the Super Softs. Pit stop window of about a lap 11 to 14. But as we saw, the undercut is very powerful around this circuit. So about lap 6 or 7, you could really undercut somebody by going onto the soft tyres on lap 6 or 7 to really kind of undercut somebody. But we'll see how the various strategies get on. So Jason, this will be an important one for the teams. I want to see how he gets on and how the track is drying. So who else is out on dries? Everybody else in the pit lane, it looks like. Waiting. We also got, I think that's Namaro coming out of the pit lane on Ultra Softs. David Ben, I think. No, that's going to be Buffon coming out on Ultras. And Ian has not come out yet, so let's see how he's getting on. Washi out on the dries. Everybody coming out on dries now, so we're going to be keeping an eye on the times. So let's watch McQuiz. He'll probably rocket up the standings. The timing will drop very, very quickly as Dyson is out of this qualifying session. He's retired, given up, lost a bit of his front wing. Won't get enough time to come in and get a change, so he will start 14th today. So the grip levels still look like they're a bit slidey, but it is suitable for dries at this point. The spray is still visible off the cars. And we will see how... Oh, Zek has come out on dry as well. It looks like everybody has come back out on the ultra soft tyres. So Washi wants to get past Buffon there. Oh dear, he wants to be careful not to put it in the wall. So Buffon lets him through. And Ghost Hunter is out of this session. Was that a crash or is it just a retirement? Looks like it's just a retirement for him. McQuiz, I think, is trailing behind Washi. So the championship battle is very much alive going into the final 5 rounds. This will be... Limaro has retired from this session. He's going to start P10 today. It looks like our minimum P11. So it's not an altogether bad start to his career in F8. Moving to Washi, who's about to start his flying lap. Where well, he's going to be probably one of the first out on track on the Ultra Softs. So let's see. This is going to put him on provisional pole, surely. So let's keep an eye on the lap. Now, of course, the grip will be unknown in the drive, but look, it's so much quicker through turn 1 there. He's catching up with his teammate Denzamo in P5. Denzamo should be a lot quicker on these drives as well. He lets his teammate through, which means... Well, actually, Denzamo's on an outlap, but he surely won't make it round. So Denzamo's going to start quite a ways down, actually, for him. Boniface in P4. Didn't quite notice that, but he is there. Keeping an eye on board with Washi locking up the left front, but getting through nicely there. Watching out for McQuiz as well. He's just a sector or two behind. Now, I think Jason is the furthest round on the track, so he will go provisional pole. So this will be a rare sight for you to see. It would be nice to see him up on top of the times a lot more. Boniface will go P4, but he can't seem to improve. So across the line, Jason should go provisional pole for the first time. There he goes, 148.8. Jason, provisional pole for today for the first time in F8. But how long will that last, or will it stay like that? Zek is coming through Sector 2 right now. Washi about to enter Sector 3, riding on board with the championship leader. This should surely put him on provisional pole for now, but McQuiz is still on his way. Coming through the final sector then. Let's see what this lap is. Coming through the final sector, where is this going to put him? It's going to be a 144.4. Where is McQuiz? Coming under the bridge. Washi on provisional pole. Jason on the front row still. This is going to be a great qualifying from him anyway. But I don't think he's going to start on the front row as McQuiz is coming. Is this going to be pole for McQuiz once again? No, it's not. McQuiz will start in P2. Hoink! Hoink on provisional pole. Where has that come out of? 144.1. Hoink snatches pole on the last section. And that is an amazing development. Hoink starts on pole position here in Singapore. First pole position for him in F8. Congratulations. Although I think somebody just snatched it there. I didn't quite see. He went up to P2, but who took it off? David Ben with a 142.3 will start on pole position for the very first time. Congratulations. So look at that front row. David Ben, Hoink on 1 and 2, Washi and McQuiz alongside each other on 3 and 4, Zek P5, Buffon P6, Jason P7, Ian P8, Boniface P9, Denzamo P10, Rob 2K P11, Lamaro 12, Noodle 13th, Nukos 14th, Dyson 16th, Kadems P16, and Danny Oyuke in 17th. What a qualifying. David Ben will get his first ever pole position in F8. Congratulations to him and the Ferrari team. Although we all know what happened in the real race, and the Ferrari started on the front row. Didn't end very well, but wow. He pulled it out of the bag on the 142, but the changeable conditions, of course. Grabbing 8 on the water. So then, this is going to be a very, very interesting. We've got for the first time, we have not got a Mercedes or a Toro Rosso or a Sauber on the front row. We've got a Red Bull and a Ferrari on the front row. So let's see how this start goes. The championship could swing today, but will it swing or will it extend? We're going to find out in a couple of seconds then, as we're about to get underway for the Singapore Grand Prix, round 14 of the Aor F8 series. 5 seconds left. Grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go racing. And we go to 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. David Ben gets away well. Hoink gets away well. Washi gets away very well indeed. And they go through turn 1. David Ben, but Hoink's got to steal it. And look at Washi on the outside. McQuiz drops back to P5 as Zek gets a great start at the P4. So Hoink leads the Grand Prix. David Ben P2, Washi P3, Zek P4. McQuiz down to P5. David Ben looking to try and get away past. But Hoink leads into the first section. So a great start for the Red Bull then. Washi P3 then. And now McQuiz has got a car between himself and his championship rival Washi, so that wasn't a great start from him. Jason now P6, Denzamo down at P7, Buffon P8, Boniface P9, Well, Rob 2K down in P11 now. And a couple of position swaps going on. There's got a yellow flag. Who is that for? Looks like it's for the Sauber as he spins. Oh dear. That's not good. Hoink leads. David Ben got a good start but couldn't hold the Red Bull off. Washi sticking in behind. Coming over the Anderson Bridge. I think that's what it's called at least. That's like a problem for Stewart there. Dropping down the order. So how is this going to play out? So McQuiz needs to find a way past Zek, who's running in P4 very well. We've got 31 laps of the Singapore circuit. And this needs to happen for McQuiz if he wants to close the championship gap even further. He needs to get in front of Washi. Riding on board with the Mercedes. And you can see behind Jason under pressure from Denzamo. So a very, very interesting qualifying is going to turn into a very interesting race. We're going to see around maybe lap 11 the first stops for these Ultrasofts, but if anyone wants an undercut, they're going to be pitting around lap 6 or 7. Hoink leads the Grand Prix. David Ben in P2, Washi in P3, Zek in P4, McQuiz in P5. DRS not enabled just yet. Boniface looks like he's coming in for a wing change. But fascinating qualifying. Didn't expect to see it stolen on the last second. But now we've got a race to look forward to. McQuiz getting up behind Zek. He needs to get past if he wants to chase after Washi. So keeping an eye on the man in P5. More than amazing joining us in the chat. Welcome to you, sir. Hoink doing a great job. Pulled a second on David Ben, actually, there. We can see him. So David Ben falling into the clutches of Washi, and McQuiz needs to find a way past Zek, but Zek doing a good job. And Jason doing an excellent job in P6 as well. So McQuiz looking for maybe trying to get a switch back here, but he can't do it. But Hoink with a good lead. And this should be an interesting battle between the Welshman and the Englishman. David Ben on Washi. This could turn to something really good, but there's 1.5 seconds behind is Zek and dropping away, and he's forming this train. McQuiz going a bit deep. David Ben closing in. It looked like a poor run through that sector for Hoink there, so keeping an eye on David Ben. He's had one win in Silverstone this year. He got potential for another one today. Or can Hoink take his first win? But there's a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Sets the fastest lap, does David Ben. 1:44.9. And Washi dropping him back just a little bit. He's outside DRS range now. DRS will be enabled on this lap by. And Washi can't afford to drop back because he's going to drop back into the clutches of Zek and McQuiz. But McQuiz just cannot find a way past. But he will have DRS this time. So we'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead, of course, as through will go David Ben into the lead of the Grand Prix. It's very tight. With DRS open, David Ben will retake the lead of the Grand Prix. And Hoink will drop to P2 now. Washi into P3. Zek has still managed to hold off McQuiz. So great defensive drive. Buffon going a little bit wide in the background there. But David Ben leads the Singapore Grand Prix after starting on pole. And is now already 1.1 clear. And now Washi can see if he can find a way past Hoink then. Keep an eye in the background, of course. And see if there's a move between McQuiz and Zek. But it's so hard to find an opportunity to overtake in Singapore on such a tight track like this. It is fantastic once again to see David Ben leading a Grand Prix. Locking up, going through there. Commentator's curse indeed. I said Hoink was leading, about 5 seconds later he got overtaken. But anyways, I hope I don't curse David Ben either. Denzamo starting to challenge the other Red Bull of Jason. Yeah, David Ben definitely pulling a gap there. He's setting fastest laps. David Ben looking very comfortable out there. DRS down this main straight, but definitely not long enough to have any effect. Riding on board with McQuiz as he tries to find a way past Zek here. He hasn't been able to in the last 4 laps. Shows the effect of the dirty air, but he needs to get right up close to him in order to get that DRS to work. All 17 drivers still running. Here we go then. DRS from McQuiz. He has to get past to keep his championship hopes alive. He's going to have to try something in the next lap or so. Down the inside for the Mercedes. It's going to be a big lock-up. He's going to have to avoid the wall. But does he make it past? He lets Zek back through. That was never really going to work. It was a big dive. Audacious, but it just wastes even more time. And Denzamo has made his way past Jason. And Buffon now starting to challenge. Excuse me. Choked in a bit of water. Fantastic. Washy now right up behind Hoink. David Ben 2.4 seconds clear. 2.7 now at this point. Looking really comfortable. The gap between Washy and Zek is 2.3 seconds, but of course if these guys start battling then that will drop. You can see if they just swat them behind. Maybe there they are. There's Zek, there's McQuiz. So they really aren't that far behind in reality. So 3.1. Zek gets his time penalties. That puts McQuiz into P4, really. But he's dropping back behind Zek. The dirty air is really affecting him as tyre wear starts to set in for these guys. We're about 5 laps away from the pit stop window. And McQuiz just doesn't look like he's able to find a way past that Renault. And if he's not careful, then Zamo could really take advantage of that and really help his teammate. See, Washy getting even more DRS on Hoink there. Don't think there's going to be a move too far back, it looks like. And definitely not from McQuiz either. Oh, well, it could be an opportunity here. Zek goes wide and down the inside goes McQuiz. Is that going to work side by side through the right-hander? Is he going to come out on top, or he's going to have to yield again to Zek? He taps the wall and goes around the outside. That was a fantastic move from McQuiz there. Denzama will take advantage of that as well and go through into P5, but he's now right up the gearbox of McQuiz as a result. Now he has to make up 3.6 seconds. You can see him up there, but he now has to fill his mirrors. He's going to have his mirrors filled with the other Toro Rosso of Denzamo, which is what he doesn't want because, well, Denzamo's going to play the team game and try to get past and hold McQuiz up. And to make sure Washy gets a good advantage in the championship. But right now, your race leader is still David Ben by 4.1 seconds, 4.3 seconds. And looking extremely comfortable. Move down the back then between Caddy Damas and Ghost Hunter. Into the points goes Caddy Damas. Through they go for the 6th time this will be. You can see McQuiz there in the background. He's pulled half a second on Washy in that one sector alone, so he's closing very quickly and is making sure that he doesn't get within DRS range of Denzamo. So the dirty air was definitely affecting him, but he's now in clean air, can charge up towards Washy, and this will be a titanic battle if it materializes in the next lap or in the second half of the race. Helicopter shots from the top of the hotel, that looks like. Well, I say helicopter shots. They look like they're on top of a building. Top of one of the skyscrapers here in the middle of the city of Singapore. 5 seconds clear at the top is David Ben, doing an absolutely brilliant job. Jason is in for his, well, has come out, so he's obviously gone for a 2-stop then. He's gone for another set of Ultra Softs. And Washy is within 0.6 of a second of Hoink, but isn't able to catch up. Now McQuiz has had a problem because he's dropped to 3 seconds and has had Denzamo now right up his gearbox. And also Hoink has gained some time back on David Ben in that previous sector then. And this is the point, if anyone wants to go onto the soft tyres and do a massive undercut, then this is the point where they will do it. Let's see if anybody takes the bait. Alternating strategies, of course. Looks like none of the leaders are going for that. We see Washi's still getting DRS, but isn't able to make it work. Rob2K makes a move on Buffon for P7. As Buffon, I think, is coming in. Yes, he is. He's got wing damage, it looks like. But let's see, does he go into a set of softs, perhaps? And maybe go to the end. It looks like he might be going to the end. Yes, soft tyres ready for him. Well, that's your famous tyre glitch right there. So then, Washi 1 second behind Hoink. Hoink doing a great job. The first Red Bull pole position went to him in the dying moments of qualifying. At the very, very end, he just about got across the line before qualifying ended. And actually, no, Hoink didn't take pole. What am I on about? David Ben snatched it at the end, and the first Ferrari pole position for this year, and the first front row start for Red Bull went to him. McQuiz closing in very quickly. Washi has dropped behind Hoink. He's 1.2 behind now. So tyre wear will start to set in right now. Still a couple of laps away from the first stops. But Rob2K, Candy Damus, Ghost Hunter and Boniface all within the points there. So all doing a good job. And Lemaro still running around on his debut there. All 17 drivers still running, no retirements, which is fantastic. .2. Yeah, 2.2 between Washi and Hoink. No DRS for Washi this time. Zek has made a move on Denzamo, as Denzamo is the first to come in. He's missed a bit of his front wing missing. Let's see what he goes on to. Rob2K will go into P6 then in the Force India. And let's see, I won't trust the tyre until it goes on. It is either Ultra Softs or Super Softs. It is Super Softs then. And this should... Well, it won't take him to the end. Actually, be very borderline tyre wear. So he's gone for a 2-stop, it looks like. Washi within 0.6 of a second of Hoink now. But as we've seen, it's very difficult to overtake here in Singapore. Through they go for the 8th time towards the bridge. Washi wheel spinning. Not good for the tyres. It's cool to look at, but not good for the tyres. And now Zek P5, Rob2K in P6, Calidamus P7. It looks like Denzamo made a move on Boniface there. Boniface coming back at him though, around the outside. Let's see if he can make a move, or will Denzamo squeeze him right out? Just about. Keeps it out of the wall, but Denzamo makes the move into P9. McQuiz looks like he's struggling on those tyres. He's at 2.5, but can't seem to gain any more. Let's keep right on board with him and just see if we can... Yeah, you can see the blister on the left front there. Washi now a bit closer than he's been before. He's got DRS, but of course it's not effective down this straight. Meanwhile, out front, leading the Grand Prix, David Ben, almost 7 seconds clear at the top, and looking absolutely dominant. Now, Washi, half a second behind, got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Who is that for? It is for Lemaro. Now, Washi with DRS, he's still not able to close up, and McQuiz gains a little bit more. But will Washi try something here? Yes, he will. He'll go down the inside of the Red Bull, but will this work? No. So, Hoink holding on really well then. And yeah, more than amazing saying that McQuiz should stop for the softs and undercut. Almost ending his race right there. But he is 1.4 behind now. But yeah, if McQuiz wants this advantage, he needs to pit him like around now. But we're now in the window for the Super Softs to go to the end. But as a result of that little battle, McQuiz is right with them now. Let's see, we should see the first stoppers shortly. Looks like maybe Lemaro. Yeah, it is. Gone straight into the runoff area. Still learning. Ian down in 16th, and surprised to see him so far down. Is his points run going to stop today? He's finished every single race this season in the points. Is it going to stop today? It would be a shame, of course, to see it. And Limaro, on his debut, is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. Wash is still not able to find a way past. But McQuiz isn't able to capitalise on the battle because he's losing time every time they go back into full race mode. And David Ben is going a second a lap quicker, from what we can see there, than Hoink and Washi. Washi's closer than he's ever been now. Look at this. Come down towards this left-hander. Will he try a move? Hoink will go defensive, of course, but Washi's going to try on the outside. Not going to work there. McQuiz is going to capitalise on this now, because that will have lost him a lot of time. I don't know how Washi managed to hold on to that, but he did. So still not able to find a way past the Red Bull. Of course, if it were to finish like this, Washi would still gain in the championship. Oh my goodness! Hoik has had a bad mistake through there, as did Washi. And they all cancel each other out. They're struggling on these Ultrasoft, spinning the tyres. McQuiz has had a poor run as well. That was almost race ending for the two of them. Surely pit stop's coming now. Pit stop window should be open about now. Well, David Ben come in. He's 8 seconds to clear at the top. How are his tyres? He's looking pretty clean, no blisters at all on those tyres, so he's looking really, really good. Hoink with some clean tyres as well. Any wing damage at all for these guys? It's right on board C, doesn't look like it. McQuiz has missed the pit entry, but keeps it together. Now he's going for the undercut, so here we go then. McQuiz in, this should be super softs to the end then. Slick work from the Mercedes crew. So now this is going to have to be the lap of these guys' life, because they know that if they battle too hard, then they're going to come out. They're going to be at a disadvantage. Washi's closer than he's ever been before. He's a 10th closer than he was last lap. Hoink's going to go defensive once again. Is he going to try the same thing he did last time around the outside? Is he going to make that work? Surely not. And can't do it. Hoink holds on to second. And Washi just cannot find a way past. So McQuiz will be on the super softs going quickly. Zek now up to P4 as a result of all that. He looks like he's missing some end plates there, so he's running around there. Washi with the blister on the slight blister on the left front. McQuiz has come out in P7 in front of Denzamo and behind Kadidamus. And Ian, as a result of that penalty, doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold on to that point scoring record, but then again we could be wrong. Hoink defending. This has got to be one of the most defensive drives I've seen in a long time. Some fantastic defensive work from him. Let's watch if David Ben comes in. Yes, race leader in. This will be for the Super Softs once again. Let's see if Hoink follows or will he stay out. He's going to stay out and Washi is going to come in. He's trying to cover McQuiz off. So in he comes then. Where is McQuiz? He's coming through under the bridge. I don't know if it's going to be enough for McQuiz. A lot of drivers coming in for their stops. David Ben is in. He's going to come out. Behind the Force India of Rob 2K. Zek now in P2, and Noodle is our second retirement out once again for another DNF. McQuiz keeping an eye on him. Where's Washi coming out? McQuiz is on the right hand side, and McQuiz has done it. He's jumped him. He's done it. He's jumped him on the pit stops. That was with an amazing lap from McQuiz. So the undercut has worked to perfection, and McQuiz has got in front of Washi for what is essentially PE3 of the Grand Prix. Hoink still leads the Grand Prix, but he's struggling really hard there. He's short shifting and it looks like he's really struggling there. I'm just trying to look for it. I thought there was a puncture on it for a second, but it doesn't look like there is. So, we said the undercut was powerful and it has worked to McQuiz's advantage, but David Ben still leads by a margin of 8 seconds. See a move between Daniel UK and Boniface there, battling down for 11th position with Ian in the background. We got a yellow flag in Sector 2 momentarily there, but withdrawn. All these guys should be coming in for their stops very shortly. McQuiz runs a bit wide, careful not to get any penalties because he can't afford them. But Hoink comes in for his stop. This is going to be tight between the McQuiz and Washi. But I think Rob 2K will take the lead of the Grand Prix for the first time. David Ben closing in behind him. Zek comes in for his stop as well. Oh no! McQuiz, crucially, has got a 3-second time penalty, which means that he will drop behind Washi if he stays where he is. Hoink has come out in P5, it looks like. So what a shame that is. He's got a 3-second time penalty, which cancels out any chance of him. He needs to pull 3 seconds. Daniel UK out of the Grand Prix. And that is a big impact right there. Coming into Sector 3. Rob 2K leading the Grand Prix then. For the first time in F8, but David Ben is right behind him and it shouldn't be any contest. Rob 2K on 13 lap old Ultra Softs. But a move can't be made here because it's way too tight. So let's wait. Boniface fast lap of the Grand Prix. Let's get the cut back. The Welshman on course for his second victory. But let's see. Switch to the inside. Should be a relatively easy move. Nope. He's going to play it safe and stick behind. And, well, there you go. I was kind of hoping that would happen. Washi cancels the penalty out by getting himself a 3-second time penalty. So now they're both running as they are. McQuiz stays where he is and is staying just about outside of DRS range. We haven't seen these guys go wheel to wheel much this season. Now David Ben makes the move past Rob 2K, who will go into the pit lane for his stop. McQuiz will take over P2 of the Grand Prix. Washi will go into P3. And Hoink should go P4. Tenzamo P5. So as they were pretty much in the beginning. And let's just turn on your tyre details so you can see who's on what. Hoink into P4. He'll come out. So David Ben leading by 6.5 seconds. And Washi sticking behind 1.1 seconds behind McQuiz. I'm not sure if David Ben has a penalty or not, but we will figure out at the end. Can just see if we go to race director. Incidents, David Ben. Just a warning it looks like for him. I apologize for checking this, but needs to be checked. No, David Ben has not got a penalty. Boniface sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Again, he's in 9th. And I said Ian, his point scoring streak would be over, but he is now in P10. So he always seems to come back to score a points finish, no matter what. So there's only 4 runners on the Ultrasofts. Rob 2K, Jason, Coast Hunter, and Dyson. Tenzamo getting up behind Hoink. And we are at the halfway point of this Grand Prix. So the field a bit spread out now. Washi losing time to McQuiz. And of course, if it were to finish as it were, McQuiz would gain even more in the championship, but it's not over, of course, till the fat lady sings, I suppose. Just get up the points table, and we can see that Washi is leading the championship by a margin of 19 points. McQuiz trailing behind. Of course, David Ben leading, so this will bring him up on the championship as well. He's fighting with Denzamo for that third position. So, if we're to say it as it were, well, there'll only be a 3-point gain from McQuiz, but it is still a gain nonetheless. So he'll be 16 points adrift going into the final 5 rounds. This is, of course, a rerun. Singapore was supposed to happen last week, but of course, if we all remember, PSN was down. And we were unable to run the race, so we are essentially a week behind schedule. We will not be taking a break week as a result. Racing will continue until the end of the season, straight the way through, unless we have more issues. David Ben out front in control of the Grand Prix. I missed his first win as I was out doing Aor F1. I was sad to see him take his first victory, but I'm sure, I really hope he takes another one. The Welshman, who has had he started off the season with some pretty poor luck, but overcame it in Britain, and looks like he's going to take another victory, but there's still another couple of laps left. When we say a couple of laps, another about 15 to go. McQuiz and Washi staying 1.6, 1.4 apart. And they're comfortably in front of Hoink and Denzamo. And Boniface down there setting fastest laps. Washi and Ian are the only 2 drivers to finish every single race this season, and they're looking to continue that streak. They're also the only 2 who have finished the race, or every single race, in the points. And Washi has only had 1 finish outside the top 5 this season. The quiz, of course, didn't start a few of the races in the middle of the season, which allowed Washi to get in front by about 50 points in the mid-season, but McQuiz has made a huge resurgence and gained huge amounts of points to bring that to within 20, which really shows how close the championship would have been at this point if McQuiz had taken part in every single race, which is a interesting thought. There could have been about a point gap in it, really. But Washi, it has been pretty much a dream season for him this season. Up until this point, he never had a win. He'd never had a pole position. He'd never had a fastest lap. And he took his first win in China, a memorable occasion. And then took his first pole position shortly after, of course, Wild Ditto and Nezran left for F7. And, actually, Nezran's in F4 now. Ian gets a 3-second penalty, which just about keeps him in front of Ghost Hunter, but Jason is in for his stop. Well, another stop, looks like a wing change. Could potentially be a wing change, at least. Which, well, Ian's not going to gain from that, unfortunately. Washi within DRS range of McQuiz now. We have never... I can't quite remember the last time we saw these 2 go wheel to wheel. It's been a long time. Even though they're fighting for the championship, it's essentially like Hamilton and Vettel. They didn't go wheel to wheel much. Only in Spain we saw glimpses of it. But Washi's starting to pick up the pace now. They're comfortably in front of Hoink so they don't drop behind. And they are 7 seconds adrift of David Ben. And David Ben looks like pretty much in control of the race. About 13 laps to go. 13 more round trips of the Singapore streets. And I think, well, it's the second night race of the season. Bahrain being the first one, Singapore being the second one, and Abu Dhabi being the last. Well, that's technically a dusk race, but it does end in the night as Rob 2K makes a move past Zek, and he will have DRS to potentially see if he can stay in front. Rob 2K has to stop again, so there's no way he's bringing those ultra softs to the end. Zek trying to fight back, but he's got a 3-second penalty, so it won't matter too much. But he's sticking with him. Zek, of course, had a very poor run of luck in the past couple of races. Crashed out of the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Took a podium a couple of races ago. Still no win for him yet. So, we only had 3 retirements from this Grand Prix. Daniel UK, Noodle and Lamaro. And this is the biggest grid we have seen in F8 this season. Usually we would have started with 12. But Washi has done wonders and brought the grid up to 17 drivers. Which is actually more than the tier above us, I believe. F7 started the race today with 11. Which is quite disheartening, I suppose, for those guys. But we had that before, and we're now up to close to a full grid. But these two, McQuiz and Washi, have been your title fighters this season. And they've put on a hell of a show, swapping race wins and podiums between each other. But today, it looks like they're not going to get their own way, as Buffon is out of the Singapore Grand Prix, as David Ben gets a 3-second penalty. He needs to be careful, and Buffon has hit the wall on the bridge. This happened to Marcus Ericsson in the actual race. So David Ben with a 3-second time penalty, still well clear of these guys. And they also have penalties, so it doesn't really matter in that regard. He can still kind of relax, but I don't think he'll know that these guys have penalties. More Than Amazing says, it might be 18, I may drop to F8. You're very welcome to come down. And if you could possibly take out Washi, that'd be great. Pfft, sorry, never mind. Forget I said that. Well, make an interesting title battle. Well, I suppose even if Washi DNF'd right now and McQuiz finished in P2, they'd be down to 1 point. Washi still be in the lead of the championship. And Washi is closing in 0.3 of a second. Now, of course, he'll increase his as McQuiz. Oh no! Commentator's curse! Have you never seen it as much before? Washi spins the car around and will now drop a long way back from McQuiz. He's going to lose P4, he's going to lose P5, and he's going to lose, oh my goodness me, Rob 2K is going to take P5 away. What on earth have I done? That has put McQuiz in a prime position to take the championship lead. What have I said? McQuiz can hardly believe his luck now. In P2, 10 seconds clear of Hoink. Denzama now P4. Absolute bottle job from your championship leader, and Mr. Bottle Job himself, Zek, is closing him down. An absolute disaster for the championship leader, as Zek will take him away. He's going to have to come in and change his wing. Oh no. Disaster. Things have changed dramatically. McQuiz can hardly believe the luck he has just had. Washi's going to have to come in and change that wing. And how far is he going to drop down? At least to 9th. He is going to be kicking himself. Look at watching that back again. and he's going to absolutely kill me for commentators cursing that. But he is going to stay out with that wing damage and just try and finish, because even though he's still in 7th, it's still not going to be enough for McQuiz to take the championship lead. Now thinking back on it, but it will close it down dramatically. Let's quickly do some quick maths. Well, she's kind of in a comfortable place right now. Boniface has made a stop. So even with that wing damage, he should be okay to continue. 7th will bring him 6 points. So that'll mean McQuiz will have will gain 13 points on him. We'll bring the championship gap to 6. If it were to finish like this, of course. So, absolute drama on the streets of Singapore. Washi spins the car, trying to chase down McQuiz, got in the dirty air. Looks like he just got on too eager on the power. And that has put his championship hopes in jeopardy. Now Dunzamo, also with wing damage, chasing after Hoink in P3. Hoink has driven a great race today. Started on the front row, had provisional pole for a couple of seconds. We thought he had it. David Ben took it away, and Dunzamo gets a 3-second penalty. But David Ben has led every single lap of the Grand Prix, apart from 1 or 2, and is 10 seconds clear of the man in second place, McQuiz. Absolutely flawless drive from David Ben. Took the lead. Well, actually, Hoink took the lead away from him into turn 1. And David Ben took it back again. And has led since then. We have about 9 laps to go. With the most dramatic sequence of events. Washi has come in. He's changing the wing because he realises he has enough time to do it. So he has comfortably come back out in P7. And now, I don't know, he's probably just going to have to settle for P7. He's 37 seconds behind Zek, 39 seconds actually. And this will mean the championship has turned on its head. Scenes in Singapore. Now, I must mention, Rob2K, running around in P5, doing a great job. Led a couple of laps of the Grand Prix. I believe he has to stop again. Nevertheless, a great showing from him. And I can tell you, Ian still running around in P10 with a 33-second lead over Ghost Hunter and is on course to continue his points scoring streak of 14 rounds. That Washi can just kind of bang in the laps and try to get some redemption. Rob2K, well, I said he had to pit again. In he comes. And this will be for a set of super softs, surely. So, this was a 2-stopper for him today. And I think he's still come out in front of Washi. Boniface closing in on Jason, but he's got a couple of penalties. Oh! Almost ended his race right there. So Washi 20 seconds, well, 14 seconds behind Rob2K. Potentially could close in. But can he make up 11 seconds? Well, Boniface makes the move. But can he make up 10 seconds in about 8 laps? Well, it's possible. So he can minimise the points loss. He will be kicking himself after that. Just a little bit too eager with that right foot. has meant that he will be in the single figures when it comes to a lead over McQuiz in the championship. Ian comes in for his stop. He's going to bang on a set of Ultra Softs. Ghost is going to come out in front of him. Well, it might be tight, you know. There's Ian on the inside there. And he's going to come out. Well, Ghost is going to jump him to it. He's going to have to fight his way back to keep his points scoring streak alive. And more than amazing, I ask, who do you think will win the championship and why? It's a very, very tough question, because the championship has been up and down all season. But, oh dear. I said that it's beginning to rain in Singapore, I have just realised. Now, this could play a major factor in the race. And it could help or destroy the race for any of these drivers. But we know McQuiz was poor in the wet qualifying conditions. The man who was very quick was... well, I can't remember actually. It was actually Washi who was the quickest in the wet. And Boniface is the first to put on intermediate tyres. But going back to the question, who's going to win the championship? The honest answer is I just don't know. It's too close to call. And... come back to me. But yeah, Washi, I'm sure, is going to be thanking the rain gods. I'm sure he's doing a rain dance in the car. And this should help him. He is... oh, he's got a long way back from the guys up front. But the guys are going to be watching Boniface's times. But Boniface has already lost a bit of his front wing. So it's definitely not time for the intermediates yet. We have to wait for that DRS disable sign to see if it is potentially okay. So David Ben's still leading the race by 12.6 seconds over McQuiz. Hoink is in P3. Denzamo's P4, Zek P5, Rob 2K P6, Washi P7, Jason P8, Ghost Hunter P9, Boniface P10. Well, I actually say that was going to help Washi. He literally just pitted for Ultra Softs. And if he had stayed out, perhaps it could have gone his way. But I don't know. But doesn't look like the intros are working for Boniface at all, because he's dropping back a lot now. Ian's going to take that 10th away. And he's struggling. But definitely too early for intros just yet. And this late in the Grand Prix, I doubt that these guys will pit at all. And Zek is lining up Denzamo for a pass. He's been closing in for the past couple of laps. And we should see a move. King Bottle Job, we like to call him, has not produced a bottle job today. Has actually produced a very, very nice drive. Yeah, Boniface realised, well, he's coming in for a wing change. But I doubt that stop helped him! Oh my goodness me, Zek, new underpants needed, takes that 4th place away, squeezed to the wall, and somehow did not end up in a humongous crash. Zek comes out on top. Hoik has had a bad problem. Look at this, Zek into a podium position all of a sudden. So Hoik has lost the wing end plate. Denzamo's going to take that away. And look at that, Zek into a podium position. More Than Amazing says, King Bottle Job, you obviously never saw me last season. Well, how about you come back in and take the title back away? Hey! Now, keeping an eye on your race leader. 15 seconds clear. Starting to get slippy, you can see him slipping and sliding around. They're beginning to struggle in the conditions. But we'll wait for that DRS disable sign, and that will indicate to the drivers that it is definitely too wet. Ian takes 9th away from Ghost Hunter, almost puts it in the wall in the process. Caddy Damus is there as well. See if he can get more points for Williams today. He'll come in, and this might be for Inters. So in they come then. We also have Jason in, it looks like, for intermediates. And Rob2K now back into P5. Well, Washi's taking the gamble onto intermediates. Make sure he doesn't get a 5-second stop go. So they obviously think it's too wet. And it does look very, very wet indeed. On he goes. Jason continues on. And I have to assume that these guys are going to come in as well. One of the Force Indies with a broken front wing there. That yellow flag is for that car. Washi drops back to P8. But will shoot up. Denzama gets back past as Zek bottles it again. What does it take for this man to score another podium? David Ben surely... Well, no, he's going to stay out. And DRS disabled as he comes across the line. McQuiz, will he take advantage of that and go into intermediates? Still a chance for him to take a race victory now. Washi gets past Jason. And in comes McQuiz for intermediate tyres. There is still a chance for McQuiz to take a victory. Denzamo in. David Ben, I think, has had a... It's just... The sign has come up just as he's come across the pit straight. And McQuiz now on intermediate tyres. And on... But we must remember, actually, McQuiz has a 3-second time penalty as well. You just make sure he doesn't cross the pit exit line. And Zek gets past Denzamo on the pit lane, of course, but he won't hold on to that. David Ben has got to tiptoe around. He's still got 46 seconds in hand. And is still on course to take victory, it looks like. He's just got so much time. Hoink gained from that. He's got out in front of Zek. Not long to go in this race now. David Ben cannot afford mistakes now. Tiptoeing around the Singapore circuit. More Than Amazing reckons he should stay out. But I don't think he's going to. In he comes, your race leader for intermediate tyres. 43 seconds in hand. This should be more than enough time to come out in front. Quick work. And he'll come out absolutely miles in front. He's still got about 20 seconds in hand. Out he comes. Next time they cross the timing screens, you'll see that gap. Well, you still got about 30 seconds in hand. 24. With 2 laps to go. So going through, Ian has had an issue. And that point streak looks like it has come to a crashing end. And Dyson is out. But that just shows you how much of a domination David Ben has put into this race. 43 seconds in hand. Was almost a minute ahead. And has come out in front by a margin of 20. Almost. If you're wondering why Washy's down in P7, he crashed hard into the wall. And this is going to mean that McQuiz will have a massive gain in the championship. They both have penalties, but they're both enough ahead. Unfortunately, Ian is down in P12. And that 13 race streak of points finishes looks like it's about to come to an end here in Singapore, which is a real shame. One of the most consistent drivers is going to look like he's going to finish outside the points today, which would leave Washy the only driver to finish in the points in every single race, but I probably shouldn't have said that. As Rob2K is closing up to Zek to take P5 away, which would be a great result for him. Lap 30 of 31. Boniface is out. Ghost Hunter is out. And while I said that points finish was over, 2 cars crash out, which will gift Ian 10th place. That has been a massive crash, let me just say. Ian has been gifted a points finish now. Everybody will score points today. Rob2K looks like he had a crash or a spin there. Keep an eye on your race leader. There it is, the points streak will continue. It looks like. So David Ben has dominated this Grand Prix. Driver of the day. Who is your driver of the day? I'd have to say David Ben. Domination all the way through. Unexpected victory, in my eyes. But I'd have to give a mention to Rob2K as well. And also to Hoink. It's been lots of great drives today. And Zek. So, the final lap in Singapore. David Ben is about to do what Ferrari couldn't do this year, or last year. He's going to take victory in Singapore. The 2 Ferraris crashed out, but no such drama for David Ben today. 1 victory to his name. That was back in Silverstone almost 5 rounds ago. But this is going to be a well-deserved victory. Tenzama gets a 3-second time penalty. And today is when the championship will really, really start to come alive. As the championship gap will go to, I think, 6 points, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just quickly check that while we go through. And it's beginning to dry up again. DRS is enabled, but... it should go to 6 points, yes. Sorry, 7 points, excuse me, 7 points. To the race, to the championship leader. And coming through the final sector then, David Benn, the Welshman, had a string of poor luck at the start of the season. Has dominated this race. Coming through the final corner, I missed his first victory. I'm not going to miss this one. Coming through the final corner, David Benn wins the Singapore Grand Prix for Ferrari. Fantastic win. But this is the real thing we need to watch now. McQuiz will come across the line in P2 to secure a closer gap in the championship to Washi. 7 points the gap will be now. Looking for Denzamo to score a podium finish. Good finish for him today. David Benn, driver of the day in my book. Fantastic drive. Hoying in P4, Zek will come across the line in P5 nonetheless. Rob 2K with an excellent drive to P6. Washi could have been so much more. P7 for the championship leader. And a 7-point gap at the top of the championship. Jason, P8. Caddy, P9. And Ian continues that point streak for P10. What a race. Is all I can say. Incredible. Oh dear. You haven't crossed the line, mate. Mate. Hello. Ian... Oh, just about got across the line there. Ian finishes P10. For a 14th points finish. We will get the podium celebrations now. David Benn stands atop the podium. McQuiz is there, but Washi is not. 7 points at the top of the championship. We will see you next week, where the championship will really start to come alive. We'll see you in Malaysia. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.